Now, and at the same time that the processors and cheese manufacturers have been reporting record profits, this is during the same time, simultaneous, when dairy farmers have received significant drop, correct?
That's correct.
Now, I know in an early conversation, you spoke to the number two cost, hauling. You pay for hauling, and that goes back to Brian's comment about the consolidation of processing. Could you tell us where your farm's milk goes and the cost it is to you?
Last year, our farm goes to New York. Milk goes from our farm to New York City, which is about 250 miles away. Many people don't realize that when our milk is picked up, the farmer pays the hauling costs to the point of destination. We have no choice to where it goes, but we have to pay the hauling cost. Last year, our number two expense on our farm was hauling, which was $44,000 for our 100 cows. And when I started looking at a study that was recently done by Ag and Markets, it was a hauling study, and I saw if your milk went to New York City, you receive 49% of the retail fluid milk dollar. But if your milk stayed in upstate New York, you receive 61% of that fluid retail dollar. That's when I realized we were being punished because we lived further away from where the people, the consumers live. And that's not fair. That the reason farmers and consumers don't live together is because the dairy farms that used to be in downstate have been pushed out because of urban development. However, we are being punished because people live further away from their food supply, and that's why we need to bring our processing plants back to where people live and have it be more regionalized.
But ultimately, it seems that the punishment may be even greater to the consumer, because the consumer is faced with food industry choices now as food companies say, gee, it's a recession, people want to spend less on food, and the consumer isn't even aware of the differences between the food choices they receive. We have, we brought some samples of product today, and we have an example of cheese slices. And if you go to your market and look at cheese slices, you can buy cheese slices made out of 100% dairy cheese. But then something that looks identical to that is made out of vegetable oil and casein products and is much cheaper. So again, consumers faced with an industry, a food industry in general, that wants cheap, shelf-stable products is sort of working against paying a fair wage for the fresh, delicious food that you produce.
And this launches us into, I want to hear from Brian and Debbie, the global aspect, how globally things are affecting your dairy farm. Brian?
Well, globally, the issues are, well, we kind of call this product the main problem, I guess. There are other products, but there's a product known as milk protein concentrate. And the majority of this product is imported from countries like New Zealand, Australia, China, India, and it goes on and on. And the problem I have with products like milk protein concentrate is that it destroys the integrity of my milk, because what is happening is, as Ann said, with the cheese product, that milk protein concentrate is mixed in the cheese vat with my local milk. And I feel as a dairyman, I work hard every day, and I have invested in equipment, stainless steel pipeline in my barn, in my milking parlor. I meet all the standards and the high quality expectations that are put upon me by my milk inspector every month to produce the highest quality product for you. And when they mix a product that does not meet the same standards as the standards that I meet every day, I am feeling offended. And this product is marketed out there as an equal, and it is not equal. And that's another aspect that we wanted to share with you today. from our viewpoint, that we feel that is very important to know.
And I'd like to add to that again from the perspective of health and nutrition. The safety of the food that is produced by American farmers, because there are rules and laws that have to be followed and agencies checking on you, I feel is far more dependable than many places in the world. And I know that there have been highlighted cases of foreign casein type proteins or gluten proteins that have been contaminated. The most sensational one was in the pet food industry with the gluten that was tainted, but there really aren't good controls at the import area where these products come in to check the quality, because we don't have enough people in FDA and USDA to check the imported product. So it's coming in cheaply, but I don't think they are able to enforce the same standards they have against the United States farmers. And the additional thing is our country sort of works as through a rule of law. So if somebody were to do something dishonest and it got tracked back to your farm, you would be sued, and we have a process for that. Unfortunately, I think with many of the foreign and global companies, there isn't that individual that would feel at all tied to the conspiracy or the link. And their rules are just different than ours. Their ethics are a little different in terms of food. So again, generations of people who have been producing milk to be delicious and nutritious, they're not likely to try to taint their milk with some kind of additive, like some other company who's never going to sell it to their family or to their friends.
Could anyone tell me what FDA would tell a consumer if a consumer poses a question about where the milk protein concentrates come from?
I know they're trying to put on the labels where products are from, but they're very fishy when it comes to a product with more than one ingredient. You know, like when you go to the supermarket today, you can find out that your grapes are either from Chile or they're from the United States. Your blueberries are from either New York or New Jersey or another country. But for packaged foods like some of the products that we brought today, frozen pizzas, cheese, imitation cheese products that have many ingredients, they don't identify where the source of all those ingredients are. And I think that's a huge problem for consumers. You don't really know where it's coming from.
The other thing I'd like to know about milk protein concentrate is how it's produced. I'm not an expert on it, but I do know that what I've heard from different food people in the industry is that it's filtered milk, and what happens is it goes through a series of filters, and the fat and the vitamins and minerals are trapped at a certain point, and the protein goes through. And that's what you end up with. You end up with a glob of protein that is void of most vitamins and minerals, the way I understand it. So in theory, and this product was originally brought into this country to be used in industrial products, mainly glue. And it has wiggled into the food supply with the FDA turning away, just kind of ignoring it, just let it go on, and it just needs to be brought to the forefront about what's going on, what this stuff really is. It's substandard as far as containing, you know, a pure milk identity, and that's what it needs to be, is defined.